in the universe, and this supernatural Zhengming Shangdi existence of the greatest creator. Xiefeng. Translation edited by Cong Long and Ailian. Everything has a source, and the source is the greatest creator. 万物有源，源头为上帝. The Amazon River all have their headstreams. The Benguela Cold Current, Peru Cold Current, Mozambique Warm Current, and Guyana Warm Current all have their sources. The Rio de Janeiro London Airline, Los Angeles Paris Airline, Honolulu Manila Airline, and Paris Colombo Airline all have their printers, cameras, and machine tools, as well as all the objects we use, from musical instruments, chess, painting and calligraphy, books, watches, and clocks, to tables, chairs and wooden stool, shoes, socks, hats, teacups, thermoses, desk lamp. The cats, dogs, sheep, and pigs we keep in our homes all have a source. Music, writing, art, medicine, theories, methods, magic arts and axioms, and theorems all have sources. White Europeans, black Africans, yellow Asians, Arabians, and Brazilians are all descendants of their ancestors. The towering Himalayas, the fertile formed by the vicissitudes of history. All things have they too have their beginnings. Everything is in motion, and the primordial motive power comes from the greatest creator.万物在动，出动力来自上帝. Mountains are rotating, winds are dancing, rivers are flowing, and springs are bubbling. Clouds are drifting, growing, flowers are fading, bacteria are multiplying, and insects are busy. Cows and sheep are grazing, lions and tigers are running, hens are laying eggs, and larks are singing. Electrons are swirling, molecules are moving, particles are flowing, and electromagnetic waves are rushing. Infrared radiation is radiating, and gamma rays are piercing. Electromagnetic waves are spreading, and photons are flashing. The heart is beating, blood is flowing, the skin is breathing, and the stomach is moving. Nerves are sensing 1,000 miles in a flash. The Milky Way spans millions of years. The sun, moon, stars, and celestial impetus that things move. But where the nature of the image is energy, with the core of this energy being the greatest creator. 万物有相，相的本质是能量，能量的核心是上帝. An image refers to the size, shape, appearance, and structural type of an object, which is a watershed that distinguishes one substance from another and one object from another. Microorganisms and insects, grass and trees, humans and other animals, mountains and rivers, and so on, all are different, and the reason is that their images are different. If everything has its own unique image, how is an image generated? The origin of an image lies in the genetic structure. The image of something is determined by its genetic structure, or different. However, Any structure without the participation of energy can only be an illusion. For example, if we want to build a house, we first need to imagine the structure. But without the input of mechanical and human energy, the structure we imagined in our brain can only be an illusion. Only when we put in the energy of manpower and material resources can the structure that we imagined in our brain become a real house. A seed can only become a plant after absorbing nutrients and water from the soil and heat and light from the sun. A fertilized egg in the mother's womb can only develop into an animal with a head and feet if it is constantly supplied with nutritional energy. A light bulb can only emit light when electricity is input. A pile of soil can only become a mountain with the energy of the continuous movement of the earth. A river can For a small sapling to grow leaves, it needs to absorb water, which mainly comes from the infiltration of rainwater. So where does the ocean? And where does the wind currents formed? They are formed because the surface of the Earth continuously gains and loses solar energy as it rotates, ignoring factors such as lunar gravity. So how did the Earth start to rotate? And what force keeps it rotating continuously? According to the law of energy conservation, there can be no perpetual motion machine in the universe. The motion and changes of any object must be driven by one or more other energies. Without energy, there is no motion or change in anything. Therefore, all the motion and changes in things must ultimately have an initial push of energy. The initial rotation of the Earth was driven by the atom, including comets. Everything is connected by cause and effect, and every effect has a cause. The initial cause of all causes is the greatest creator. For 因果相连，凡果都有因，所有因的出因是上帝. We've all, regardless of what kind of disease a person has, the disease always has a cause, even congenital diseases. There should be no dispute about this. Similarly, typhoons, tornadoes, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, sandstorms, SARS viruses, etc., all have their reasons for occurring. The Second World War, the Crusades, the Middle East wars, etc., all have reason. In the United States was bombed, the Soviet Union disintegrated, Hong Kong was reclaimed, and Saddam's regime was forcibly removed. All of these events had their reasons. Does the Earth collisions, collapsed buildings, and floods not have a reason? Do being condemned by thousands, losing one's family and possessions, being imprisoned, and dying from unfortunate events not have a reason? Do having sores on the head and pus flowing from the feet, being deaf and blind, and losing limbs not have a reason? Do people encountering unexpected misfortunes not have a reason? Did the ancient civilizations of the Maya, Greece, Egypt, Rome, Syria, Persia, and Babylon this inevitable article of Chanuan corpus, rising of clouds and falling of rain, snow and mist, thunder and lightning, tsunamis, typhoons, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, floods, sandstorms, the disappearance of birds, sunrise and sunset, rainbows, eclipses, the changing of the seasons, the migration of the proliferation of insects, the multiplication of bacteria, birth in the spring, and growth in the summer, harvesting in autumn and storage in winter, the entanglement of vines, the fragrance of the cinnamon tree, the blooming and falling of flowers, the sunflowers facing the sun, the drifting of small islands, changes in the course of rivers, landslides in mountains, the increasing height of peaks, the weathering of rocks, the crisscrossing of gullies, the shifting of sand dunes, springs emerging from rocks, whether in the sky or on Earth, all phenomena or results have a reason, and we cannot find a phenomenon or result without any reason. If the reason for the appearance of life on Earth is due to the existence of the Earth and the solar system, and the reason for the creation of the solar system is because of the existence of the Milky Way, there must have been a first cause, and that cause, the dynamic force, is the greatest creator. Everything has a purpose for its existence, and the purpose of microorganisms is to enrich soil and decompose organic matter. The purpose of soil is to nourish plants. The purpose of plants is to provide food for insects and animals. And the overall purpose of plants and animals is to serve humans. So, what is the purpose of human? The purpose of clothing is warmth and to serve humans. So, what is one of which is the solar system? The purpose of the solar system is only one, to serve Earth. The purpose of Earth is also only one, to serve humans. So, who do humans serve? The existence of the sun, moon, ocean, air, land, ozone layer, and so on is all that serves humans. Viruses that cause disease also exist to maintain the balance of humans. So, what is the purpose of human existence? Everything in the material world exists to serve humans. So are we humans simply the supreme enjoyers? Does our exist? Do we not have any purpose when we cultivate crops? Do we not have any purpose when we create airplanes, atomic bombs, and spaceships? All human activities have a clear purpose, and everything in the universe has a purpose for its existence. Are humans the only creatures without a purpose? Humans do have a purpose for their existence, and that is to serve the greatest creator. Why do we humans not realize thinking? Unless we have the same thinking as the greatest creator, we do not know the purpose of our human existence. In human history, that the purpose of human existence is to serve the greatest creator. The ultimate purpose of all existence in the universe is for the greatest creator. Knowing the ultimate purpose of human existence, we have a goal to live for, to serve the greatest creator. Existing for the greatest creator, we have a bright future. Turning away from the greatest creator, our future will be dark. Life is graded, and the highest grade is the greatest creator. Order, and the essence of order is hierarchy. Take stones as an example. The grade of a diamond is relatively high, while the grade of a stone that can be broken by hand is relatively low. The grade of ruby and sapphire is higher than that of cat's eye stone, and the grade of cat's eye stone is higher than that of yellow sapphire and spinel. The grades of yellow sapphires and spinels are higher than that of aquamarines and zircons, and they gradually decrease to emeralds, green gems, tourmalines, crystals, garnets, olivines, jades, wood fossils, granite, and bluestone, all the way down to ordinary pebbles. Taking humans as an example, according to the percentage of spirituality in human nature, selfish, self-interested, and do those who confuse good and evil are the 18th grade. Frivolously and live in the moment are the 15th grade. Those who are selfish, self-interested, and do not uphold public ethics are the 16th grade. From low to high, they are life in molten lava and flames, life in ice and snow, life in eternal darkness, life in mountains and rocks, life in soil, life in water, life in air, plants, insects, land animals, aerial animals, livestock and poultry, dogs, Buddhas in the Elysium world, gods in the heaven world, and the greatest creator in the zero world. Life has grades, and wherever there are grades, there is the maker of order. 7. 万物有序，秩序的制定者是上帝. Human society is organized with orders. A country to two. When 10 companies merge into one, bay bosses, police restrain criminals, and businesses must have a license, etc. All these are orders. Although the Constitution and laws are made by humans, it cannot be said that orders are made by humans. The order created by humans must conform to human nature and the basic norms of society. For example, no matter how extremely bright and intelligent the people in a country are, you cannot establish the order whether it's a group of ants, a hive of bees, a group of goats, a pack of wolves, a family, or a clan. There can only be one leader. Young adult, middle-aged, related. Being hungry requires each person has their own life trajectory, which is the program of life that cannot be changed by subjective will. Every parent hopes that all their children will become successful and bring honor to the family, but the hope remains a hope. Children will live according to the program of their own life trajectory, which is, and everyone could become an emperor. The vast majority of people, especially those who are wealthy and influential, do not want to die. But wanting to live, there will be no way forward for those around the Earth. The Earth revolves around the Sun and rotates on its own axis, and the solar system follows the Milky Way. This is the order. Dragons give birth to dragons, phoenixes give birth to phoenixes, and the offspring of mice dig holes. This is the order. Those who respect the greatest creator and those who despise the greatest creator and live against the order established by the greatest creator will inevitably descend to the lower level of life space. A certain dynasty? Was it the dinosaurs? Definitely not. Apart from the greatest creator, who else has this ability? 端是上帝. In the universe, everything is connected to each other through reaction. Reaction is the process by which something Explicit stimuli are brightness. Implicit stimuli are mainly conveyed through sound waves, electromagnetic waves, thought waves, biological waves, same frequency waves, radiation, and other means. For example, when people see beautiful birds, blue skies, handsome men, and beautiful women, afraid. When they see sexy women in short skirts, they feel aroused. When they encounter things they dislike, they feel disgusted, mainly due to different forms of stimuli. Smelling the fragrance from the kitchen can increase one's appetite, while smelling the stench of overflowing feces in the toilet can make one feel nauseous. The fragrance of flowers can make one feel refreshed, while the smell of vomit from a drunk person can make one murder can be distressing. Seeing the color blue can feel refreshing, and seeing the color red can feel warm, mainly due to different color stimuli. Beautiful singing, moving melodies, and sweet words from a loved one can make people's emotions surge and their thoughts wander, while the sound of a shovel scraping against concrete, funeral music, and ferocious and malevolent shouting can make people feel fearful, irritable, banned. Sleeping on a comfortable mattress feels good, while lying in a corner made of stone makes one uncomfortable. Beautiful spring scenery can make people feel ecstatic and brightness. The above will respond to implicit stimuli are the thought waves or biological waves of people who are about to happen. There may be many animals are sensitive to these waves, such as fish jumping out of the water, dogs barking, horses neighing, mice running around, and roosters crowing. Sometimes our ears get hot and our faces feel hot, which is a premonition of information related to us, just like the upcoming cold air current that stimulates people with arthritis. In Water Margin, Lin Chong, the head of the 800,000 Imperial Guard troop, seeking shelter at the mountain temple due to the snowstorm may seem like a coincidence, but it was actually a response to the events that were a protagonist describes a similar experience. The next difficult problem was which route to take back to England. I was accustomed to traveling by sea, but at this time, I had a strange aversion to going back to England by sea. I even had my luggage loaded onto the ship, but suddenly changed my mind, and this happened 2 or 3 times in a row. It's true, I've had too many unfortunate events at sea in my lifetime, which could be one of the reasons, but in these situations, a person cannot completely ignore their inner impulse. There were 2 ships, and I had decided to board them, meaning that I had specifically chosen them. One of them had my luggage on it, and I had spoken with the captain of the other one, but I didn't end up boarding either of them. Later, these 2 ships encountered problems. One of them was captured by Algerians. Regardless of which ship I boarded, I would have had bad luck. As for which ship was unluckier, that's hard to say. This is a kind of sensing of implicit stimuli. Without this sensing, Robinson would have been buried at sea. Subconscious behavior is a kind of inexplicable, hard-to-explain sensing behavior. This sensing behavior has saved the lives of billions of people, but has also led tens of thousands of people to death. Someone has studied biological sensing. He divided 50 snails into 25 pairs and put each pair together. After some time, each pair to the United States and left the other one in electric current, and at the same time. The other snail in the pair that was taken to the United States also exhibited an electric current stimulation response. The snail in Paris had an electric current stimulation response when it was not stimulated by an electric current. It's because it sensed it, and its response was a subconscious behavior. Animals such as pigeons, dogs, and horses have a sense of their owner's whereabouts. After a pigeon is released, it can find its owner who has moved to a new location. If you put a dog in a box and take it a few hundred kilometers away before releasing it, it can accurately find its way back. There was an animal trainer named Duluth who could use mental suggestions to make animals perform. Once, he secretly commanded a dog in his mind, "Go to the piano and use your paws to hit the white keys." It was said that the dog obeyed without other. Once, a researcher named Kerensky asked Duluth, "Since you can use mental suggestions, can you suggest that I do something?" Duluth agreed and told him to sit still without moving. Duluth picked up a piece of paper, quickly wrote a few words on it, covered it with his hand, and looked at Kerensky. Although Kerensky didn't feel anything special, he unconsciously scratched behind his right ear with his hand, and before he put his hand down, Duluth handed him the paper, which read, "Scratch behind your right ear." From the examples above, we can see that Kerensky involved. In fact, he faithfully carried out Durlov's instructions. The world-renowned psychic Master Wolf, Mason once had dinner with the famous founder saying a word. He merely gave Mason a telepathic command, instructing him to go to the bathroom and take a pair of tweezers from the mirror frame, and then pluck 3 beard hairs from Einstein's chin. After giving the silent command, Freud continued to eat and drink on his own, stood up, went to the bathroom, took a pair of tweezers, walked to Einstein's side, bent down, gently lifted Einstein's chin, carefully plucked 3 hairs and placed them in front of Freud. Examples like this are numerous. All living beings in the vast world subconsciously execute commands. Our next action, the next sentence, may seem like individual behavior, but it is actually a response to explore-level life senses the commands of higher-level life, and lower-energy life senses the commands of higher-energy life. This means that plants receive commands from animals, humans, celestial beings, Buddhas, and gods. Animals receive commands from humans, celestial beings, Buddhas, and gods. Humans receive commands from celestial beings, Buddhas, and gods. Celestial gods take orders from the greatest creator. The ultimate stimuli is the greatest creator. From the 40 pieces of evidence and 8 laws, what are the features of the greatest creator? 三上帝的8大特征 8 features of the greatest creator. Xianfeng. Translation edited by Long and Ailian. The greatest creator is unique and exclusive. In the world exist relatively, and losing one side also means losing the condition for the existence of the other. Yin and yang, positive and negative, interior and exterior, man and woman, male and female, masculine and feminine, rigidity and softness, darkness, movement and stillness, strength and weakness, high and low, noble and humble, rich and poor, fortune and misfortune, more and less, front and rear, left and right, truth and falsehood, good and evil, beauty and ugliness, fragrance and odor, immortal and mortal, Buddha and demon, God and ghost, material and spirit, heaven and hell, fairyland and the mortal world. Even a piece of thin paper has a front and a back. If there is no front, there will be no back. If there is no back, there will be no quality, there are peculiarities, and in commonality, there are individualities. There is also a neutral gender in addition to male and female. Qualitative change or qualitative change is not unity of opposites but uniqueness. Wuji generates Taiji. Taiji generates the visible energy when moving irregularly, formed an energy cluster or Taiji. To understand how Taiji is formed, you can try drinking all the milk in a flat-bottomed glass and leave the glass uncleaned for 12 hours. Then observe the shape and structure of the glass bottom. The first unconscious movement of Taiji has triggered the orderly movement of the entire energy, and with it, the time and space in the human sense appeared. This is how the bipolarity is generated, which is actually the phenomenon of material and non-material, tangible and intangible, following the principle of unity of opposites. The formation of the bipolarity can be understood as follows. The greater the energy, the less visible it is. The smaller the energy, the more visible it is. This is the key to the birth and formation of the universe. Lao Tzu's understanding thought is a kind of energy cluster that influences many people's lives and affects many people's words and deeds, but who can explain clearly and is born from the chaotic movement and collision of formless and shapeless energy. You can observe the disorderly movement of the molecules via in the energy world. Invisible matter appears in areas with less energy, while invisible non-material gradually forms in areas with more energy. Just like a person, the physical body corresponds to areas with less energy, and the mind and soul correspond to areas with more energy. Thus, Taiji gave birth to bipolarity, which is tangible matter and intangible non-material. And from this emerged positive and negative from Taiji and bipolarity. In the Bible, the Heavenly Father, and in the Quran, Allah is undoubtedly the creator of the universe, which is what the Chinese Taiji is the greatest creator, and the greatest creator, and everything in the universe comes from this bipolarity. The two sides of bipolarity are the unity of opposites, though it comes from Taiji opposite. The greatest creator is amorphous. Tu Sang Di Wu Ding Xing. God is Taiji, a conscious energy cluster that can take on any form. Since energy is flowers and plants, it becomes branches, enters a rock, it becomes solid, mc squared. The formula for the formation of matter is m equals E slash c superscript 2, where c is the speed of light, a constant, and E is energy, a variable. This means that energy is the only factor that forms matter. Without energy, there is no matter, no sun, moon, stars, mountains, rocks, rivers, flowers, trees, insects, fish, birds, or beasts, and likewise, there would be no humans. When matter disappears, it is transformed back into energy because the total energy of the universe is a constant that does not increase or decrease. Does the burning of a tree, an animal, a building, a fertilized egg, can principle no fixed form because he is an energy. This creator is neutral. Humans are divided into man and woman. Animals are divided into male and female, and plants are divided into stamen and pistil. Then what about the greatest creator? We absolutely cannot say that the greatest creator is man or woman, or male and female, or stamen and pistil. If we say that the greatest creator is male, there must be a female greatest creator that corresponds to the understand the greatest creator. That is to say, we cannot say that the greatest creator is true or false, good or evil, beautiful or ugly, because if we destroys the uniqueness. Things have their own nature. Animals have their own animal nature. Humans have their own human nature. Buddhas have their own Buddha nature, and gods have their own divinity. So what kind of nature does the greatest creator belong to? The greatest creator does not have a nature, which means that the greatest creator does not have physicality, animality, humanity, Buddhahood, or godhood. Defining the greatest creator in any life realm is incorrect. Saying that someone has animality is certainly demeaning them. Saying that a Buddha has humanity is certainly demeaning the Buddha. Saying that a god has Buddhahood is certainly demeaning the god. Saying that the greatest creator has physicality, animality, humanity, Buddhahood, or godhood is definitely demeaning the greatest creator. Therefore, Krishna movement here because it is related to the greatest creator. Krishna and Krishna consciousness come from the ancient wisdom scriptures of India and have been inherited by some spiritual masters. The most outstanding leader of the Hare Krishna movement is Saint Prabhupada. This movement has many brilliant insights and focuses on the spiritual aspect of human beings rather than the material and physical aspect. Many of Prabhupada's teachings, we know that Krishna is the supreme God of the universe, which is acceptable. But he also says that Krishna is the only one and the source of all sources. Creator is the only one and the source of all sources. This clearly indicates that Krishna is the greatest creator. So, is Krishna the real greatest creator? In the definition of God, in the teachings of the Krishna perception movement, Saint Prabhupada said, when Krishna appeared on this earth, he had 16,108 wives, each of whom lived in a palace made of marble and decorated with jewels. The rooms were filled with furniture made of ivory and gold, and everywhere was magnificent. Is this the greatest creator? No, it is not. The greatest creator is neutral, neither 1,108 husbands. This is clearly a reflection of the idea of male superiority and female inferiority. Moreover, why greatest creator with human thinking and physical desire? Is it to praise or to blaspheme the greatest creator? Krishna's 16,108 wives live in palaces built of marble, studded with jewels, with rooms furnished with ivory and gold. This is simply the imposition of the will of ordinary people on the greatest creator. Marble, jewels, ivory, and gold are precious in the eyes of ordinary people. Does the greatest creator really like these things so much? In short, Krishna is not the greatest creator. The consciousness of Krishna is to love gods and achieve harmony and unity between spirituality and divinity. However, it requires caution. The greatest creator is mysterious. For Sangdi Wu Ming, the greatest creator manages the universe with its spirit and thinking of the greatest creator. Just as humans rely on blood to maintain vitality, the universe relies on the spirit, consciousness, and thinking of the greatest creator to maintain its vitality. Therefore, the spirit of the greatest creator is actually the blood of the universe, its life force. And engaging in love affairs are based on physics, including the motion of celestial bodies, are based on the laws of material motion himself to humans. but rather shows his spirit. The greatest creator has never directly interacted with humans or given any individual special revelations. The spirit is also present in every one of us. It can be said that the greatest creator is with the universe, with all things, and with humans. Is mysteriousness. What does this mean? It means that the spirit of the greatest creator, consciousness, thinking, laws, Tao, blood, discernible non-material and dark energy. This non-material and dark energy works imperceptibly and unconsciously, without any obvious image or sign. Although it seems non-existent, it is a kind of elusive objective reality, which is omnipresent, ever-present, meticulous, and precise. What causes the aging and death? They cannot fully explain the real reason. Why? The primary physical and spiritual healthcare section of the Lifechanuan, I mentioned that the causes of human aging and death, in order of their destructive power, are mental activities caused by 7 emotions and 6 desires, diet, daily life, labor, wind, frost, cold and heat, air rays, and waves, etc. Every time you get angry, every time you get excited, every emotional change